Thank you for all of the people who have been supporting me and who are following me right now. It truly means the world that to have your support and to see people actually looking at what I have to say and what I have to teach. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. Good morning, guys. Hope you guys had a great week and weekend. And by the end of this video, you're going to have an understanding of what it takes to learn not just how to program, but how to do anything, how to learn anything, how to become successful, how to do something from a beginner to an expert, and how to go from zero to hero, like some people like to say. And we are going to be looking at 6 ways or 6 different tips that I thought would benefit you all when doing anything in your life, really. So who am I? My name is George Wolfers, and I am a software engineer. I've been programming for the past more than 10 years, actually. I started programming back in 2006, 2007. And before then, I knew I wanted to do something within the game field, video games, but I was not looking and not interested in learning how to program. That actually, I didn't even know what it was until I got introduced to it by my college that I went to the first time. If it wasn't for that college, I would have not been where I am now. And because that is where I learned what programming was and what I could do with it. And that is when I fell in love with that. I used to be a artist. I went to school for multimedia. I learned how to use Photoshop, how to use 3ds Max, how to animate, how to create 3D models, how to use certain software for different types of media. But it wasn't really not after that, but I started learning how to program on my own through the internet. And I've never known anybody else in my life who did what I wanted to do. And it was a really painful journey for me. And what I want to do now is I want to help those who are in a similar situation, whether you're a beginner or you have programmed for a while, but you want to get better at it, or you want to just have a community of like-minded people who love to do the same thing. Okay? Several years ago, I went to college again back in 2014. Not because I didn't know how to make games, because I was making games before then. But it was more because I needed to be certain of what I was doing was right, because I didn't have anybody else who was doing it, so I couldn't really determine if what I was doing was the correct way. I've always been in my head, and I've always looked at other people in the YouTube community when it started, and I always compared myself to other people. This made me feel very insecure about what I was learning and how I was doing things. And going to school really engraved my learning. And I also learned a few things here and there that helped me out, like that more advanced topics that you just don't really see out there, or you didn't see back then, but now you do. Now you see data structures everywhere. I felt like back then a lot of people were trying to hold on to their knowledge and not want to share much with other people because they had spent, this X amount of money going to college. There were some things out there, but I thought it was all beginning at that point. I didn't really see more people going into sharing their things until XNA became a thing and Microsoft wanted to allow people to create indie games through XNA and the Xbox 360, which I'm kind of sad. When I got out of the military, I was kind of sad to know that it was dead. But with that, a lot of other things opened up, like Unity. Unity became free. I don't know if it was always free, but I got to know Unity before I left the military. And Unreal Engine became free at some point. It was, when I got out of the military, it was still like $30, $20 a month or something like that. But eventually, after several months, I got my money back. And yeah, it is free now. So a lot more people, I think programming and just game development in general it's becoming more of a thing, or it has become more of a thing. So yeah, now I work for a video game company in California, and I love it. It's what I've always wanted to do, and I'm pretty excited. So who is this for? This content, this channel, this community that I'm trying to build is not for those who want fast success, because with anything that you do, you're gonna have to put in some time and effort to learn something new, regardless of whatever it is. Some people learn faster than others, yes, that is true, but it's still a process. You cannot overnight, build a business or become really successful. There is a journey, and my journey in particular was hard because I was all alone. Yeah, there were some people that wanted me to teach them, but a lot of them wanted it to be done really fast. They didn't want to take the time that you need to, in order for you to, really learn something and really become proficient in that thing. So yeah, make sure you're here for the right reasons. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to have to put in some work on whatever it is that you want to learn. What if you want to become a better person, if you want to get the job of your dreams, it's not just going to come to you. You're going to have to do the work. And it's not easy. So where do you want to start? So, but if you are new, if you're new to programming, or if you want to learn but you don't know where to start, I think before you start how to learn how to program, you need to make sure that you are passionate about whatever it is that you are doing. And really, it does come with time and commitment to build that passion. But even playing games, you need to be passionate about making games. When I started learning how to program, I loved games, obviously. I grew up with video games, but I didn't like programming at first. But inside of myself, there was always this passion for creating something from nothing, and to be able to express myself through whatever medium it was. At the time, I was an artist, so I was creating things already. I was passionate about that, and when I found out that you could do the same thing with a computer to make games, to express yourself through programming, because programming is the building blocks. It is the foundation of a computer. If without programmers to tell it what to do, a computer is just a computer. It doesn't do anything. Really look inside yourself and understand why you want to do it. Because, like I said earlier, a lot of people, I'm not really sure entirely why they wanted to do that. Maybe they thought it was cool to make games, so maybe they just wanted it to be something that maybe the reason they wanted to learn how to program and make games was because they thought it was going to bring them a lot of money maybe, and it was going to be simple and fast. And when you approach things with that mentality, it's not going to last. You're not going to be passionate enough, and you're not going to put in the work and the commitment that you need in order for you to thrive and become successful. I've seen this many times. People lose interest because they thought that it was going to be simple. It was just going to be like programming in itself. It's not hard. It's actually, once you understand it, once you put in the effort to actually understand what programming really is, once you understand that, it's not hard. It's pretty simple. Regardless of whatever programming language you are trying to learn. All programming languages have the same fundamentals because the computers work in the same way. Yes, the only difference is the syntax, really. You have to have passion, you have to have commitment, and you want to do it for the right reasons, because you want to do it, not because somebody else told you to do it, not because somebody said, oh, you're going to make millions when you do it, because you're probably not gonna. You have to find the time. Well, let me rephrase that. You have to make time, because a lot of people that I've tried to help, they always say that they're too busy. They're too busy doing whatever it is that they're doing. But really look at your life, look at your daily routines, and think about how much time do you spend in social media? How much time do you spend looking at videos on internet? How much time do you spend looking at your phone? How much time do you spend playing games? How much time do you spend doing some other thing that you could just not do, and instead put that effort, that time into learning something else? It only takes an hour each day. That is 30 minutes to an hour, I want to say. I was actually, when I started, I was doing it. I had a full-time job. I was going to school full-time as well. And I was doing a very terrible thing, which was staying up all night learning and not sleeping that much. Which, don't do that. Make sure that you get enough sleep, because it is very important for your brain to be able to learn something and process information. So there are no excuses, really. If you really want to learn something, if you really want to do something, you will make the time. You will have to switch around things in your life. You will have to make some sacrifices in your life to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do. So stay focused. Make sure that you have a plan, because you can get lost in all that noise when you're trying to learn something, right? Make sure that you have small, concrete goals that you can follow. Yes, it is good to have bigger goals as well, but you don't want to have them too big, because if it takes too long for you to feel satisfaction about something, most likely you will not continue doing whatever it is you want to do. The faster that you feel like you're actually doing and accomplishing something, it's going to create a chemical reaction in your brain. And you're going to feel good about that. And the more smaller goals that you complete each and every day, each week, the more and more you're going to want to continue, the more you want to learn, and the better you're going to get, really. So make sure you stay focused, you set goals, and you have a plan that you want to follow. If you don't know what you need to learn, Go find people that have done it and ask them questions. Comment down below if you don't know right now and let me know so I can let you know what you need to do, what you need to learn. You don't have to jump straight into a language when you're starting. You can just learn the fundamentals, learn theory, make sure that you get it, make sure that you understand what the different types of data that you have are, and how a program works and whatever. So that's where you want to start, the foundations. Don't pick up a language yet. Just make sure that you understand the basics, and that's going to make it a lot easier for you to learn. Also, I did this a lot. I compared myself to other people that had done it for years. Stay in your lane. Yes, it's good to look at other people sometimes that you admire, that you want to be where they are, but it's not good whenever you start doubting yourself and you start thinking that you're not good enough because you're not at the same level that they are when you just barely started a week ago. You know, I did this a lot to myself, and it's not healthy, and it's not good. You cannot compare yourself 1 year maybe of experience to 20 years of experience, right? It is good to have aspirations, but don't let it evolve into anything else. Make sure you know that you're starting and you're not there yet. You will. If you continue on this path, you will eventually get it. You will eventually get to that point where you're good and you don't have to really follow tutorials. You can just magically make something work. But it all takes time, effort, and passion, really. So yeah, don't compare yourself to others, because you are your own person. You are going through your own journey, and you're not in the same level as other people. You're not the same as the other people. You are your own person. I didn't do this because I obviously didn't have anybody to program with other than those who wanted to learn from me. Surround yourself with people who will keep you focused. That can be a mentor, that can be your friends. Maybe your friends want to make games too, or program as well. Having other people to be on the same journey as you is powerful, because it's all about not competition, but making sure that you guys are staying on track. There's actually been some studies that show our friends and the people that we surround ourselves with greatly impact the choices that we make, for both good and bad. So keep in mind that just because you're with other people doesn't mean that it's going to go well. You have to be with the right people who have the same mentality and passion and commitment as you, so all of you can lift each other up, support each other. And when you see people going through the same things as you, it just makes it so much easier. It makes everything just easier. There's nothing else I can say about that, I don't think. And I wish I had that. Now I kind of do, because I do know programmers now, right? But at the time, I did not. And it was really hard. So if you can find the tribe, and that's what I want to create here. I want to create a tribe of people, a community of people that think the same way, that want to do the same things, and that support each other, that lift each other up to reach your end goal, whatever it is. Other studies have shown that the most successful people in this world surround themselves with people who are smarter than them. They're always learning something, or they try to learn something each and every day. When you stop learning, you stop growing, and you get stuck. So if you're programming If you're just starting out, make sure that you understand that there will always be something new for you to learn. Technology is always advancing. Things are always getting better and better. So there will always be something that you can learn. I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments down below if that makes sense. Challenge is good. Competition is good. Because and surrounding yourself with those people who are smarter than you, who are more successful than you, will always challenge you and drive you to become a better person, a better programmer, a better anything. I've been programming for 10 years or more. I don't know everything that there is to know about programming or about C++ or about C#. I've only and this is another good point. Learn how to research. So we're all problem solvers, or we should at least. And we need to learn how to research. We are not always going to know what the answer is right away, because I feel like each problem is unique. And you always have to do your research. Learn how to use Google. Learn how to use your internet. Learn how to use your computer. If you're going to be a programmer, you should know all of this. So yes. Anyway, find a mentor. Find someone who will guide you through the good times and through the bad times. You cannot do it yourself. You can, but it's really, really hard. And most likely, if you try to do it by yourself, you may fail. Because I was doing it by myself, there were so many times where I got frustrated with myself and frustrated that I just didn't understand something. And I would just stop for months. And it was kind of like I had to relearn some things, which was good for me because it got engraved into my head. But it was a long, painful journey. So find someone who knows more than you do. He doesn't have to be the perfect person. He doesn't have to be the person who knows it all. Just someone who is better than you. Learn from them. And we need to be able to take different perspectives and get whatever we think would benefit us from those points of view. And then implement those things into our lives or into our current situation. So on your journey, you will probably run into something called the impostor syndrome. At first, I didn't know what this was. I thought it was just me just getting into my head, which you do get into your head. And you just think that you're not worthy, you're a fraud, you're afraid of people finding out that you don't know how to do something. And even today, I still have that. And I've known other people that are more experienced than myself who have been in the industry for longer than myself, who still doubt themselves to this day. And it's something that you are always going to experience. So you need to find ways to not let that affect you as much. I do a lot of meditation, and what also has helped me a lot was writing down what you have accomplished. Whether it is in programming, whether it is in anything in your life, what have you accomplished? And whenever you're feeling like you don't know if you're good enough, go and read those things. If you feel like you're not worthy, if you feel like you're not good enough to be doing what you're doing or to be doing what you want to do, look at the evidence that you have done in the past. Look at all of those goals that you have set, that you have accomplished. And that will help you get out of that mindset and to believe in yourself and to have more confidence in your everyday life. This has helped me a lot. And yeah. Another thing is do what you fear the most. Do not fear the unknown. Like, for some reason, when I was interviewing, I was always afraid of talking to these people, of being judged, of feeling like I'm not worth it whenever they say, "Oh no." But it gets easier once you do that thing that makes you scared. It becomes easier, and I feel like it also boosts your self-esteem. So try to have the courage to not listen to your head whenever it tells you, this sucks. I don't know if I can do this. You're crazy. Don't do this. Just don't listen to that voice. Acknowledge it, it's there, but move on and do whatever it is that makes you fearful, because it's only going to make you more confident. It is okay to be messy. Don't be afraid of messing up. Don't be afraid that you don't get it at first. Don't be afraid of creating a program and it just crashes and it just doesn't work at all. It is part of learning. It's part of growing. You will not learn unless you fail, and you want to fail often, because it is when you learn the most, when you see what doesn't work and what does. And if you only see things that work, you probably, I don't know why, and you don't learn. You don't understand why. So don't be afraid of that. Strive to fail and fail often. I don't know who said that, but somebody did. If you're afraid, if you have self-doubt, if you have fear of things that you have never done, because it is an evolutionary trait that we all have for survival, which we don't really need now. If you have been in that situation in the past, comment down below. Let other people know that they're not alone, that we have all been there, because that is only going to give them strength, and it's going to only allow them to become a better person or a better programmer. And I guess the last thing is, so I started teaching people how to program when I was barely learning how to program. I started learning how to program around 2006, 2007, and I didn't start teaching them around 2008, 2009. And I'll post a link down below of my old YouTube channel when I first started. But I found out, and there's a lot of evidence out there, that when you teach someone, if you can't explain it in a simple manner that most people will understand, or if you can't explain it at all by yourself, that means that you do not really know about that thing that you're trying to explain. By teaching others, you're actually teaching yourself things that you probably wouldn't even know you didn't know, and you thought you knew, because you cannot explain them correctly or in a simple way. So when I started teaching people, I was like, shit, I don't really understand this concept. So that made me go back before I started teaching them anything and just making sure that I understood that. And only through then I could then teach it, and then I would know more, right? So teach others. Share your knowledge and help other people who are struggling. You can only grow from that. So I guess let's recap. Whenever you're trying to not just learn how to program, or whenever you're trying to learn anything, you want to make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons, right? You want to have passion, you want to have commitment of whatever it is that you're trying to learn. Otherwise, you're probably going to make excuses about why you cannot do whatever it is that you want to do or that you need to do. So don't find time, make time. Look at your schedule. Look at everything that you do. And if you don't have a schedule, make a schedule. And have a week of just seeing what your schedule is currently like, And how much time do you actually spend working on something? And how much time do you actually spend not doing anything or just wasting time by being on social media or playing video games? Now, it is good to unwind from time to time and to just enjoy the moment. But if you're doing it for like more than half of the day, you're just wasting 12 hours right there, or however long. So make sure that you know what your schedule is like and make time. Do not make excuses. Stay focused, have small goals, and make a plan. Don't compare yourself to other people. Stay in your lane. It is good to have aspirations, but don't make it an obsession, and don't try to see yourself in them, because you're your own person. And the only thing that you're going to accomplish through that is being harsh on yourself and saying that you're not worthy, that you don't know how to do, and that you're frustrated because you're not where they are, when he probably has a lot more years of experience doing whatever he or you are trying to learn. Surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, who are successful, and who are doing what you want to do. They will keep you focused, and they will challenge you and make sure that you stay in your lane to accomplish whatever it is that you want to do. Find a mentor. It doesn't have to be a master, but someone who knows more than you, who can guide you through the mistakes so you can learn faster and avoid most of the mistakes that we tend to do. Find friends who want to be on the same journey as you, and make a little community or study group who will encourage each other to learn and to make sure that everybody is doing, that it has accountability. You will have impostor syndrome no matter what you do. It is a fact. Maybe more for some people than others. Do not dwell in that and get past it. Do not be afraid of new things. Do not be afraid of messing up. Learn from your mistakes and aim to fail often. You will only grow from that. And finally, become a mentor yourself. Teach other people who want to learn this, whatever you're trying to do. Because it will only, through teaching, you will learn more. Because it will only bring up the flaws that you have and that you need to work on. So challenge yourself. Strive to learn something new every day. That is it for today, and I hope you guys liked this video. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that bell icon to get notifications of whenever I post any new videos. If you haven't, follow me on social media so that we can create this community of like-minded people who want to learn how to program and make video games. Not just video games, but anything. If you want to download the PDF of whatever we went through right now and just have something to remind you of how to become successful at anything you do, go to the description down below and click on the link to get this free resource. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and I will see you next week. Bye. A lot of people see failure as a negative, and I did as well for a long time. But if you change your mindset and how you view failure, and know that through each experience and through each time you fail, you know you will learn something. You will learn not to do that thing that you failed at again. Because this happened to me a lot. I tried so hard to be a perfectionist, and that hurt me in the long run, because I didn't let myself experiment, learn from my mistakes, and move faster that way. I felt like I was always within a safe zone. Um, so yeah, fail fast and fail often is a quote that I've heard somebody say. I don't remember who. If you know who did, post it in the comments down below. But yeah,